Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome on in. Happy launch day. Let's go ahead and hang out for a little bit, shall we? Once again, happy launch day. Thank you everybody for being here live or on the replay. It's good to see you. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm going to give you a little bit of a heads up as you settle in. I am having some tech issues, so I hope you can hear me and so on okay. And whatever tech issues let us do is what tech issues will let us do, everyone. We have a poll going on. Let me know which of the two scenes, kind of like the opening scene or the closing scene of the book there. Which one would you prefer as you settle in? And welcome, welcome in, everyone. I went ahead and shared the link there to Pearl and Gold proper, or if you want to find out any other things about me, so on and whatnot, including getting your copies of book 1 and 2 for season 1 for free in ebook form. Here's a good place to go. Felicia, thank you for stopping on by, my friend. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing really well. So some of my readers that did some beta reading and my editor who helped me edit this had some questions for me. So if you have any other questions, feel welcome to go ahead and share them in the chat. Otherwise, here are some starter questions. So how many meta threads does this story link together? Not as many as the one that comes out in September is the correct answer. More about that one here later in the live stream. And definitely, when I thought I was planning a 3-book trilogy, I did not realize how meta this was going to get. I originally wrote Pearl and Gold as a side story over on Ream by suggestion of a topic from someone over there, and my editor said, I double dog dare you to keep it under 40,000 words. And I think I achieved that. So the other question that was asked is this going to be on pace for rapid release to a total of 5 books this year? Because I had the Wing ones last month on 6/6, this one on 7/7. More about the one in September later. We shall see. If it's 4, it might end up being 5. That's plus or minus my goal. We'll see. I'm having a lot of not issues while writing book 6 for season 2's first book. I'm learning a lot that I thought I knew but didn't know, put it that way. And my critique partners for that are pointing out a lot of questions that are answered but not, put it that way. But that being said, yes, season 2 drafts are loading. I am getting together an ARC team and a street team, starting with September's launch. Hint, check my link tree if you want to join that. I'm going to be rebuilding my ARC team, my street team, and more. I would like to have a total of 8 to 10 people on it, and we have half that, I think. So if you're interested, let me know. Multiple reader entry points are a good thing in a meta series is something that was pointed out to me with my critique partners recently too. Pearl and Gold would be a good entry point because it's a novella. You get to know enough characters a little bit enough that you're like, okay, I want to see what happened to get them here. But you kind of don't need to know the full story of how they got there, just that they're healing from something traumatic at this point. And therefore, I know I messed up a lot in season 1, and I'm relearning a lot of things as an author right now. If that is you, Purple Heart, live or replay, because I feel that very much. Very glad to be a lifelong learner. I often say, if I'm wrong, correct me so I know better next time. And that's just because if I stop learning, life's over, in my opinion. Some of you probably felt that, and I don't want life to be over. So I'd rather keep being corrected and keep learning and see where my weaknesses are and make them stronger. Possibly by using my strengths or possibly by learning something completely new. So Along the way, I've been refreshing some things, and we're going to get into the bulk of the live stream for today. We're probably not going to go too terribly long to celebrate, just a little bit. I have been, as part of preparing for season 2, going through and refreshing some of the book trailers. This means removing some data that's no longer appropriate, such as like Kickstarter launch dates that are already done since these books are out, and kind of cleaning up the end of them, giving them slightly new music, things of that nature. There's been a debate on this channel about whether or not I make a separate YouTube channel for the Merna Annals. That is now an option. I do have a channel name secured. It's just a matter of, is it worth it for the time sink that it would take? So we've polled about that a couple of times over on the community tab, and generally people are like, whatever you want to do is okay with us. Yeah, but I'd rather put content on this channel that you all want to watch. Does that make sense? And if that's not something you're interested in, so be it. Is there a difference between lifelong learner versus student? Yes. Because in my opinion, I choose to be scholarly about things, if that makes sense. So that you can be nerdy or scholarly about any topic, but lifelong learner to me applies more to like getting better at being a person in general. So that's just my take on it. That's just my take on it. A student of life can apply for some people, depending on what phase of your life you're in. So we're going to go ahead, and before we get into reading, we're going to take a look at one of those book trailers. Go ahead, definitely want to take a moment and go ahead and give some shout outs to a few key people who helped this happen along the way, including Rachel D. Adams. A lot of you know Rachel. She does have her blurbing with Rach coming up, and I may or may not be visiting in the future. Also, wanted to say thank you to our book cover artist. This was one of the first covers that I had purchased from RJ Creative Graphic Services, and I gotta say I'm quite thrilled. Quite pretty indeed is the correct wording here, in my opinion. So Pearl and Gold, what is it exactly? A lot of people have heard me talk about it. In short, it is an episodic novella told from the point of view of Nefertiti, the vampiric mage queen of all Merna kind. She must learn to live and lead her magical found family of in a human world without magic. This novella artfully combines historical and urban fantasy with paranormal romance and epic adventure, while immersing the reader in a world that has forsaken our heroes, and forsaken indeed. At the end of book 5, to give you a little context, the immortal magical user war with the human hunters or slayers, whatever word you want to use, appropriate is as appropriate does here, had ended in Europe. And This is the fallout on the immortal end for that, of how they make it to what we call the new world and deal with restarting their lives, as so many cultures did around the end of the 1600s and the early part of the 1700s and beyond. So definitely keeping it in line with a little bit of historical realism there. So I'm going to go ahead and get into our reading. I see y'all want the wedding scene. This wedding scene, I got to give a huge thank you to one Mama Maggie Ward for even having it in this novella to begin with. I had originally done a little bit of a fade to black moment on it, and she was like, nope, you're not getting away with that. So huge shout out also to Mama Maggie for asking for this scene. So let's go ahead and get ourselves to that point. I'm going to leave it on screen for all of you to enjoy, and I pardon me in advance again if there's any tech gremlins. So, dedication for Pearl and Gold to the characters who have lived in our heads, souls, and hearts the longest. Thank you for healing us along with yourselves. Let's go ahead then to the sidebar right quick, and y'all want the wedding scene, so that would be page 90. Don't ask how I have that memorized. I just do. So, do not say your vows to her just yet. This would be the wedding scene, the very last scene. Do not say your vows to her just yet, Kai giggled, and as she approached them from the edge of the village. Queen and King of all immortals, thank you for joining me for this occasion. My grandmother and I would like to bestow upon you a ceremony of healing for your marriage and mating. Souls who love and adore you, both from your village and ours, adorned the path with flowers that reminded them of you as individuals and as a couple. May I offer my condolences for the darkness that plagues your souls and your sleep, so that you protect each other from the harms you feel in your own minds. Neftiri nodded along with Ian, and she knelt at Kai's feet with his help. When the girl sprinkled what smelled like seawater imbued with various local herbs, she began to chant their language. As with her grandmother before, Neftiri could understand without issue the connotation and the blessing for earth and water to wash away what lightning and fire could not. Then, as if the girl had forgotten a word, she stopped, sighing and shuffling back and forth on her feet. She broke her decorum fully at last to clarify in English, Neftiri, how is it you say the name of the goddess your mother served? When you praise her, I mean. Hard, warm air rushed through Neftiri's body. You honor us so deeply. Air is her way, is it not? Kai asked. That is what Rochelle said. My daughter is correct. Dua Nebat Het. Kai repeated the phrase 3 times 3 and sprinkled more of the water over their hands and their heads. You two were created for a path your souls did not foresee. When the divinity you serve called for aid, you asked to be joined together in the fight, even if you do not remember the task being assigned or accepted. We will honor what you have done together and what you continue to do together, and the paths you will take together. You honor us, Ian said for them, with tears, when tears prevented Neftiri's gratitude from exiting her mouth. You have brought some of my dearest friends in my life. I am honored to spend my time leading my village with you as my ally. This starts tonight, if you will let me lead you inside the village's circle, Kai asked, offering her hands to them at last. Ian allowed Neftiri to lean on him and Kai before the ladies pulled him to also standing. I hope we can spend a long time on this island together, and I hope our son does not upset you too much with the teasing that you give one another. Kai laughed to agree with his statement, and she nodded with a grin covering her face. While she was not much the same staunch leader as her grandmother, her charisma would serve her people for a long time. Without another word, she led them into the circle of seats surrounding the fire at the center of the village. Neftiri smiled, and tears slid from her eyes as she saw Merna and humans waiting to throw flowers in a loving shower, like the ones that brought them to their beloveds. Kasik smirked when Neftiri and Ian sat in front of him and his mother, and Kai stood at the cliff behind the two of them, as if completing a triangle. The chieftain asked, "Would a representative from our Merna family like to stand opposite for my daughter, Kai?" "I volunteer a sacrifice." "Ow!" Elias complained, and Iona muttered under her breath before tucking her hands on her hips to glare at him. "Kasik, I would like to be the Merna responsible for the honor of representing and the mating my parents hold, as much as Kai represents the leadership bonds they form on this day for our betterment with your village. I would like to reflect such love and care in this moment." "Elias," Neftiri whispered, not doing well at hiding her joy in her sob, "you are such a kind child." Kasik said, "Fair enough, Prince of all immortals. Please join your parents in their triangle, and let us begin. Rochelle, if you would." The very song Harumi had once regaled the couple with poured from Rochelle's lips, with love and a solemn undertone of reverence and respect. Without a single instrument or aid to her song weaving, she refrained the chorus a second time at the end. Once she finished, Frey asked, as he once had so long ago at a much larger ceremony, "We present to you and our beloveds the rulers our people chose for their guidance and protection. Will you support their efforts for our glory? In hard times and in happy," the crowd responded in rehearsed unison, and Ian gripped Neftiri's hand as a sea of emotion swelled between them. Kai asked along with Elias, also as if they had rehearsed, "Do you swear to return their loyalty until otherwise proven unworthy of their stations?" The crowd roared endlessly. Neftiri clung to Ian's hand, turning their knuckles white as Kasik and Kaikiana approached with their hands also joined. As in the past, Neftiri heard the old woman's voice in her head, though her words spoke the local language. "Daughter of Flame, son of Lightning, you are welcome among the beings on this island. Unlike so many humans, you have been kind to us. You have befriended us. You have built homes alongside ours while also repairing our homes. You plant crops, share your bounties when you travel at sea, and you do not make decisions without considering both your own and our greater good. Your children learn to live alongside our children, and our futures intertwine as the vines of the island grow their sweet fruit." Kasik held out a pair of coins, and he spoke in clear English. "You are the richness of each other. These are representations of your abundance, and may it multiply beyond in the years to come, so that you do not want for much or feel that you crave much often." Ian accepted his coin, and Neftiri took hers. Once the coins were pocketed where appropriate, he wiped away her tears. "Ian," Kasik asked, "there's an old sailor's blessing I would like to bestow upon you both, if I may." "Now I am intrigued," he chuckled. "I have, with the help of Toos and Bear, fashioned 2 pairs of gold earrings for each couple in your village. I would request that the other pairings visit my mother and myself for their earrings as needed. In sailing, it is a tradition to be certain you have enough for your burial on your person. Instead, might these earrings bind your bodies to be reunited as much as will your souls when the next life's rest arise." "You honor us in so many ways," Ian said. "Thank you from our souls. And it is with this moment we also offer these rings as promised." Kaikiana spoke, revealing a pair of pearl and gold wedding bands with an intertwining design. "Like the veins you drink from, like the blood that binds your bodies, like the souls you share with one another and your family and our family, may these bands never falter until your last breaths are shared with one another." Until her last breath, becomes my own, until his last breath becomes my own. And that would be the ending scene. So definitely check out Pearl and Gold if you are so interested in finding out more. Or, as I mentioned earlier, of course, you can check out books 1 and 2 in ebook form for the Merna Annals, because there's so many other cool things coming down the pipeline. Like, hey, Frey, what are you doing? Frey, don't touch that!
Be as quiet as a mouse, or else you'll call the police, and I'll get done for something stupid like disturbance of the peace. And piece by piece I am collecting all the things you leave behind. And when you don't, I rummage through your bins to see what I can find. You just don't know it yet, but you love me and I love you the same. One day we'll have a pretty wedding, and I'll be your everything. We'll be together, yes, forever. We will never ever part. Oh, you don't know it yet, but baby, I've already got your heart. You just don't know it yet, but you love me and I love you the same. One day we'll have a pretty wedding, and I'll be your everything. We'll be together, yes, forever. We will never ever part. Oh, you don't know it yet, but baby, I've already got your heart.
Are you done yet, sir? Sir. Mr. French vampire who likes to stick his nose in everything. Seriously. So if you were curious, the next book launch for the Merna Annals is going to feature a solo arc of Frey that explains some things that happen in book 2. You know, the events that started all this meta-threading business. So if you definitely want another fun entry point into the series, September the 9th, 2025. 999 is a very busy day in this business between a book launch for Frey, and also if you are joining in the Authortuber Friendsgiving Marathon, that's the deadline for application, I do dare believe. So lots going on, well, 999. Thank you all for hanging with me, and above all, take care of yourself. You've always been worth it. You know it. Dang it.